I am Prisca Nwokorie, reaching out to you in a moment with Sister Prisca. Today, the topic of our discussion is going to be centered on the youths of today and the future hope of tomorrow. And the title is Three Habits Halting Young People's Future Today and How to Change Them. You know, it is very easy for us to say what is going wrong, but to tell or implement possible solutions to those problems are always a hard task. But we have to define the problem in such a way that we will be able to help salvage the youths of today who are going to be leaders of tomorrow. I want to welcome you specially to this very channel. If you are new, I say welcome to you. If you're already a subscribed member and have been following us, I just want to say thank you for turning back and please invite others as we begin. In our society today, we know that the problems facing our youth are too many. And because we care for our youths and we want the best for them, that is the reason we have decided to talk about some of the habits that most of our youths are now forming little by little, which, if care is not taken, may endanger their own future. It is not all about the problem with our youths. Some of them, it is the adults that maybe have indirectly or even without knowing have contributed to it. Many of our youths are gifted. We know they're very talented. We know they need our encouragement and support. They need us to inspire them in everything they do. And so they look up on the elders to see what thing they have to learn from them. But because from one generation to another passes a lot of innovation, a lot of changes, things that are very new in the life of the youths. That is the reason each time we talk about the youths, we talk about what will be better for them. Now that we are in the age of technology, it is a moment very crucial for the development of every child. And we know that the social media, the internet world, has really contributed to the growth of our society. And with the technology, all the gaps that had been existing, either with translation, understanding one another from different tribes, languages, culture, all those things have almost come to an end because technology has brought a solution to all of those. But sometimes there are some of the habits, at least I will say to you, in my culture, there is always something that we normally say, there is time for anything. If you allow your child to grow in a proper way, allow the child to follow the normal way of absorbing either teaching or the things he or she should know. You can't take a child who is supposed to be in the kindergarten and send to the college. You know that there are a number of years that are being required for that child to remain in the kindergarten, either to form him or the essential things. And as time goes on, the child will begin to learn from the things he or she is being taught. And from there, proceed to the primary, to the college, and thereabouts. But when you jump one step and move to the other, That gap which you have created will always make a callback in the life of that child. And that is our major concern. We all know that when things are being followed systematically in the rightful order, there is always a systematic procedure and flow in everything that it brings in the result of it all. So if you are young or you are about young people trying to stay with them, always allow them to follow things in the systematic way. Let me explain better. You don't take a child who is under 5 years just because you want your child to develop and know more about technology. You leave your phone with that child when he or she is still underdeveloped. The child is still struggling. And you know that each of the things, the child is just like a clean paper. Whatever you write on it remains. And the child, instead of forming and learning things in the way that will help grow psychologically, you just allow them to begin to use the technology in the inappropriate way. One is that you, as an elder, will be running a risk because you may never know where the child touching that screen and may delete important information that you may have saved, which might cost you much. Not just about that. I have to let us understand this in a different way. Let's go to the habit number one, living in constant distraction. As we find ourselves in a noisy world where we allow the ringing of our phones to distract every second of our existence, notifications popping in and out from our phones, endless videos coming into our phones. We keep on scrolling endlessly. Many people just wake up from the morning and the first thing they do is just to pick up their phone. Even before they pray, even before they start planning for their day, even before they start at least a little recollection or even reflection. Things are good. It depends on how you manage them. It depends on how you make use of them. There are hours that disappear daily. And those moments that when we wake up are very significant, when we are supposed to think, orient ourselves on how best we are going to start our day, will now begin. Probably the first notification you may get on your phone might be a breaking one, a breaking news, something that will dishearten you, that at the end you may say, had I known, I wouldn't have picked my call, or you wouldn't have read such messages. Give yourself time. Educate yourself in such a way that even if your phone is with you, you control yourself. Don't allow your phone to ring you or even to take away important parts of your own time. You know, in every organization, in anything you do, there is always an order. There is always a flow you need to take. And because that there is order, in order to make us plan our day very well, you have a time dedicated for a particular thing. Just like the scripture will always remind us in the book of Ecclesiastes, there is time for everything. Why don't you have time for yourself? Don't allow the ringing of your phone to keep distracting you. I'm not talking about your normal work. I'm not talking about your office duty. There are some calls, or even, if we may say, there are inordinate messages or even notifications that keep coming, distracting our time. And that's the reason when we keep on getting such notifications, by the time we will realize what we are doing, we may have missed important appointments. We may have even missed important assignment we're supposed to do, thinking it is just the usual distraction from a certain person. Because sometimes you might be used to receiving continuously certain messages. The time important message will come to you, you may overlook it. And it is a time that is going to cost you heavily. Learn to manage your phones very well. It is not every time, not every call you are meant to respond to. Give yourself time so that you will be able to attend to other important things in your own life. This is about people who have already organized themselves, those who know how to manage themselves. But a young person who is still struggling in order to identify himself or herself into society, leaving those instruments in the hands of that child is just kind of trying to let that child live in a disordered manner. And it will be very hard for you to recuperate that child again. This is one of the things you need to know. No matter how rich you are, no matter how poor you are, always allow your children to do things in the proper way. Don't just hand them phone over just because you can afford it. I can give you an example of my own self. I started using telephone, though later I had entered into the religious order. I didn't have it in my secondary school days, even listening to phone, because in the age or the period or where I grew up, those possibilities were not there. In my own time, it was communication through letter writing or even other either visiting directly to the person who we want to. But remember, in the communication that we want to or that permits you to write a letter, go to the post, send it, and wait for your reply. It takes time, if not weeks, for you to get your message, arrive at destination, and even get a response from it. And when those letters come back to you, there is always a joy. But it is not something very immediate. It is not something very constant. But what we mean when we talk about the distraction in our youth is that when we mismanage the possibility on our own side, it costs us a lot. And you know, it is easy to break a glass, but to make a broken glass is never easy. No matter how you try, you can never bring it back the way it was. You can reform it, you can reshape it, but it is never original the way it is. That is one of the reasons you need to be careful with the young ones, leaving things that may distract them unnecessarily while they are still growing up, and don't allow them to be in a position of even watching films continuously, because allowing them to gain too much access to things that would destroy or even distract their education will pay off later, because a time wasted unjustly will never come back. There is nothing wrong with technology. I repeat, technology is useful. But when it controls your time, when it controls your attention, when it controls your discipline, it becomes a problem. Because a distracted person finds it difficult to focus deeply, study well, build skills, and complete goals. How can we change this problem? You need to begin your morning without your phone for at least 30 minutes. Use your device for learning more than entertainment. Set daily priorities before opening your social media. Listen, there are some persons that wake up in the morning and they join a prayer line. That is very good. It is very okay. But what we are talking about is unnecessary distraction with your devices. If you are using your devices for studies, for your work, there is no problem about it. We are only talking about what distracts our youth when not properly used. What controls your attention often controls your future. You have to remember this. The second habit that affects our youth is avoiding growth and learning. Many people desire success, yes, but few prepare for it. Success is not a miracle. You need to work for it. Because when you get something without preparing for it, you always will not value the outcome. It's just like somebody help you to obtain a certificate. You may not know the value more than the person who had followed the right process, studying, learning, doing all the quizzes, and sitting for the exam and the certificates. Someone who is tasting already prepared meal doesn't know how much the cook or the person, the chef who prepared it had already organized him or herself before bringing out the food on the table. This is one of the things we have to know. Many people desire success, but few prepare for it. Some want result without effort. This is so bad. Some want progress without discipline. Very bad. Some want doors to open without building the skills needed to enter. This is very bad. Yes, we talk about corruption in our society, but sometimes we are even more corrupt than the system we try even to condemn. Because when we see things are not going well, instead of correcting the mistakes from our own side, we can just simply say, well, let's just continue. When the system, when the organization or government, whatever, is ready to implement the change, let's follow it. But as for me, let things remain as it is. This is one of the problems we are facing because if every one of us would start making amends, making corrections in the little things that we are not getting well, then the society will begin to change. That is the reason even Michael Jackson, when he sang his song, make the world a better place for you and I. It is only trying to let us know. Let us implement the change that will help salvage the future. Let us all heal the world. Let us bring something that is going to be of the good of the society. The world is changing quickly. It is changing continuously, just like the blinking of an eye. A certificate is valuable, but growth must not stop there. Young people who keep learning remain relevant, useful, and confident. You need to build your skills. You need to learn a lot of things that is going to help you for tomorrow. Just like what my parents normally tell me, you need to be hardworking. You need to be obedient. You need to listen to instruction. You need to follow every good advice that someone tells you. My father, when he was still alive, may God rest his soul, he was known for his way of discipline. My father will always try to encourage you, even when he sees you are tired. He wouldn't mind offering moments of even recreation with you. He tells you stories so that after he had told you those relevant stories relating to what you are doing, then he will now say, let's continue from where we stopped. And because of that, I equally learned to be hardworking from my dad. My mother is one of the best I have ever got as a mom. Because she was so humble, she was very quiet. Just only looking at her, you already understand what she wants. And because my parents taught me the value of building my future, even with the little resource that was available during at that time, he would say, learn the most you can. Keep learning, even if you think it might not be relevant to you. You can never know where you may find yourself tomorrow. And that little knowledge which you have got will be able to save you a lot. These are part of the skills you need to build. Communication skill, public speaking, writing, technology skills, leadership, emotional intelligence, time management, problem solving. Wherever you are, no matter any field you find yourself, doing this will always qualify you for anything. And how do you change? Learn one new skill at a time. Read regularly. Watch educational content, practice what you learn, and stay curious. Because your future often rises when your value rises. There is an exception or exceptional to what I have just said, depending on the location where you find yourself. At least I can say in a developing society where sometimes the major problem is light, possibility for education. In that case, just do the best you can, learn skills that are available because the knowledge you gain from the things around you will help you out so that whenever you come in the possibility of making use of technology, you will now convert that your knowledge faster in such a way that is going to boost your knowledge. Remember, your future often rises when your value rises. Keep doing your best, no matter how difficult it is. The third habit is staying in negative company. You have to know that the people around you matters a lot. They influences you. If you keep on frequenting a mechanic shop, little by little, you will know or learn how they do their work. If you keep on frequenting a bar, little by little, you begin to know how things are being done. Wherever you find yourself, it has an influence it plays in your own parts. Some environment encourages growth, others discourage it. If those around you laugh at discipline, mock ambition, waste time daily, and reject wisdom, it becomes harder to move forward. This does not mean looking down on anyone. It means recognizing that company influences character. You desire relationship that strengthens your purpose. God has given us possibility to have our parents, to have our siblings, but He made under our own care to choose our companionship, friends, people whom we can work together with. And those people have something, an influence in our own growth. For this reason, you have to know ways to change with the people whom you go with. Spend more time with focused people. Find mentors. Join healthy communities. Limit toxic influence. Protect your peace and direction. Because the right company can accelerate growth. The wrong company delays it. So, dear friends, if any one of those habits touched your life, do not feel discouraged. No one is trapped forever because a distracted life can become focused. A stagnant life can become or can begin to learn again, or even a negative environment can be changed. Today can be a new beginning. Always encourage yourself, encourage everyone around you that you are not late. Your age is not your limitation. Your background is not your final story. Use your time wisely. Build yourself daily. Choose growth consistently. Small daily changes create powerful future. And so, dear friends, having gone so far with this explanation, I want to urge you to do me a favor. If this message has blessed you, help me or challenge you, save it, and please share with others. Share with a younger person, subscribe to the channel, join my WhatsApp channel for daily wisdom, motivation, and uplifting comments. I am Prisca Nwokorie, reaching out to you in a moment with Sister Prisca. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. We are going to be here again on this very channel very soon for another edition, a different topic. So please remember that we have a role to play in the life of our younger ones, even in our own lives, because the more you are correcting and bringing someone else to right, you are equally helping yourself. So, if you know any of those healthy habits which might affect the future of our younger ones, learn the possible ways to help them out. Please don't forget to subscribe, share the link with others. If you have suggestions, if you have solutions, if you have any important suggestions to give us, or even ideas of how to better this very channel, don't hesitate to share your thoughts with me. I am Prisca Nwokorie once again, and just want to tell you I care for you. God bless you.